It's hard being a side dude out here.
Coming soon to all streaming platforms. The Lockdown with Rich the Comedian.
This is the time you find out if your chick's down for you, man. If she down for you, she wants
All
you to
right,
come over,
welcome
you know what I'm
back,
saying? She's
welcome
calling,
back.
what she doing. She got your phone, got you
Welcome
bringing
back.
off the
Where we
We are
at?
at the Bruh Let's Talk About It
Get ready for
podcast.
the Lockdown
Fusion
EP. It's Rich the
Studios
Comedian.
in
Coming soon to a streaming
Jonesboro.
platform near you.
All right. So we wanted to start off our next segment with discussing something that recently happened in the news. Some of you may have seen it on Instagram or Facebook. Basically what happened was a mother was inside of a restaurant and she began arguing with another customer. She and the customer began arguing. It got a little heated, and all of a sudden you see in the video where the man starts to punch her in the face repeatedly. As a result, bystanders run out the restaurant. No one helps her except for her 14-year-old son, who came in with a handgun and shot him multiple times, killing him. My question is, bruh, what's going on with us?
So Deidre, I will start with that question. So this, for our viewers, this is our segment. This is the part of the segment, What's Happening to Us, Bruh, where we talk about these issues. I will say with this story, the bystander effect, I'm guilty of that. I'm going to always mind my business because sometimes I feel like if I don't mind my business, bad things are going to happen to me. And that's just a product of situations that I've seen. So I think that it's very unfortunate that I have to feel that way, but I'm thinking if I get involved now, I have to go to court, or I may be mistaken as being a perpetrator and then something could happen to me. So if anything happens, I'm always going to go from the aspect of retreat. And I know that may be an unpopular opinion, but that's just how I kind of see my perspective. But I think it's a very sad situation overall that it had to go down that path.
It's definitely fight or flight. Anyone else want to weigh in?
Unfortunately, that like you said, that is Miss Deidre. That's a tragic experience that the woman went through. But I'm more of a fight kind of guy. I got sisters, mothers, I got grandmothers, little cousins. So I would hate for my mother or my sister or my grandmother to be out in somewhere and somebody out of their mind or just not having a good day feels the need to do something harmful to them. So in a sense, whereas that I would want somebody to do it for me. So I just give that energy off into the world and just help as best as I can. And with the view of me being prosecuted, as long as I'm in the right, I'm in the right. Like they got cameras, people pull out their phones with cameras all the time. So
shout out to that man for riding for his moms, man.
Facts, right?
That's the bottom line.
But see, there's a different. I feel like this might not be a popular opinion, but
Let's
de-escalating is a thing. Like in our community, we don't do that. We dig into our point more and fight more instead of saying it's a two-piece and a biscuit. Like, are you serious?
Right.
Like you're really arguing and fight. Someone is dead because of some chicken. Like, is that really worth it? You know
He dead because he punched the man moms in the face. That's why he dead.
Several
that's
times.
It had nothing to do with no biscuit and all that.
But the
They
same
cut
thing,
my
like,
mouth
hit that
off.
man mom.
You
step
touch my
in and
mama,
the police
man,
come and they shoot
I'm
you.
done with
So now you're dead for trying to help.
I see your
that's a
point,
reality
but that's
in
a
our
logic
community.
that you can't have at that point.
At that
Right.
moment.
At that point, man,
at the
my
moment,
mom, my
you
sister,
probably
really
not thinking
thinking
like
about
that.
that.
You
Yeah,
have to be logical.
Yeah,
because
you do have to.
After COVID, everybody has PTSD and people are struggling mentally at different rates. So when somebody is turning up over some chicken, that should tell you that they are not mentally stable, so don't engage.
Yeah.
Like as a responsible person, you should not engage with a person who's arguing over a two-piece and a biscuit.
I mean, but having this like calm environment you're in right now is not like the reality of it is like if that happens,
and somebody touches your mom, the person who raised you, like,
Right.
I'm
Instinct
like,
kick.
instinct, yeah.
Instinct
but I understand
kick.
we do need to be more like that. We do need to be like that. But we do need to be like that.
Toxic
It is.
masculinity,
Well,
because
alright,
it
so-
doesn't make you weak to be
No,
diplomatic.
we're
It
not
makes you
saying
smart.
it's weak.
Right,
Nobody's
no,
saying it's
so in a sense, to a degree, I agree with you, Larry.
Yeah.
So at when does that train track end?
It does. It keeps you alive.
How-
in a
So
lot
you're
of
gonna let your
situations,
mom
it
get
keeps you
stomped?
alive. Who says anything about somebody's getting stomped? So first of all, my mom is not going to argue with somebody in a chicken shack. That's number one.
Right.
So that's some personal responsibility you have to give to her. Why are
Right.
you arguing with a man about some chicken?
Stooping
Let
to
it
that
go.
level.
Exactly.
Right.
No, but
Right.
if you walk into it, like, let's put the whole situation in context. He walked into his mama getting, hit. I'm not saying, like, and I agree and I understand why Antoine feels that way. Like, I'm not saying you're less of a man or more of a man. It's just we all have different responses.
Shout out to that man.
Right. And also, unfortunately, in our country, there's only 4 states that recognize bystander laws, which means that if you do not in those 4 states act out to stop someone from being harmed, then you can be held liable. And Illinois is not one of those states. So we did see in the video where some men retreated. So some did take that flight versus fight mentality. And I agree with you. We all do suffer from PTSD from COVID, generational, right? We have generational PTSD. But when do we get to a point? Let's change that scenario. You say your mom wouldn't fight in a chicken shack. I'm a mom. I wouldn't either. But have I had road rage? I'm sure all of us can agree that you've had a sense of road rage at the point where you were just so upset that you may have done something out of character. What next? What if that was your mom, Larry, that did have that road rage?
My mom doesn't even drive on the highway no more.
You gotta be optimistic, Larry,
You
man.
won't even drive on the highway no more.
You gotta be optimistic.
Yeah,
Larry's
And let's be
so
clear.
that happened, and that man ran that woman over. He followed her home
Yeah.
and ran her over several times. That's what I'm saying. Is like, when do you take personal responsibility to say,
For self.
you know what, this is not even worth me
Right.
going to this
Giving the
distance, because
energy.
what are you
You're
proving?
right.
What are you
Yeah.
proving by fighting him? Okay, now both of y'all go to jail, so you lose your job and you got a record. Oh, that was a smart thing to do. Like, I mean, that affects your family.
Yeah.
So I understand you trying to be chivalrous, but you have to live to fight another day. That's what my mom always taught me. If a police officer stops you, you do what he says. No matter if he's telling you, just do what he says. You get home so that you can live another day.
I just want to just not counter argue Larry, but you spoke about privilege. You are an intellectual man. Like, you understand the logic and you have self-control like that. Some of our community doesn't. So it's like, even dealing with some students at times where they make the wrong decision. When we sit them down afterwards, I didn't even want to fight him, but he pulled up on me. Okay. So it's like, kind of like at that moment, at that time, it is fight or flight. So, I definitely understand where you're going, and we need to get there. That's why it's important that we are pouring into the future.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
Right.
yes, just to close on that note, I know this can be definitely a heated conversation, and I definitely appreciate the feedback. But one thing we want to do is make sure that we're at a point where if our emotions are that heated, no matter what situation you're in, whether you're at work, whether you're on the road, whether you're in a chicken shack, that you're able to step back from that. It doesn't mean that you are more masculine. It means that you're more mature. So let's take that aspect. And again, these are all some of the social determinants to health that we want to face, because a man who is that angry is not thinking about his doctor's appointment, right? So we're kind of tying all that in. And as we continue with our podcast next month, July, August, and September, we'll have these conversations and these topics. So please continue to tune in. Bruh, let's talk about it.
Yeah.